Is it recording?
Yes.
Yeah. Are we supposed to introduce ourselves?
Sure.
No.
Yeah. Say your names.
Hello, every unfortunate soul who picked English 7. My name is Sigge.
And my name is Wilfred.
And we're going to talk about some modern literature that we read. Should I start?
So, the book I read is Slaughterhouse 5. It's a kind of dark, humorish-y... well, not dark humorish. It has some dark humor, but it's dark as well. And it has it's very confusing to read. Especially, and that's mostly because it's not a fixed timeline. You jump around in his life from before the war to after the war to during the war. And it can really feel like a different book at certain places, where sometimes before the war it will feel a bit more light-hearted, while when you're in the slaughterhouse with him it feels very much darker and the bombing is happening, etc. So it's a book that's you've got to be very open-minded to be ready for, and you've got to be good at paying attention. You can't really read it as a side thing, because you'll get it confused immediately when it starts jumping between the timelines. And if you get confused, you'll most likely get bored because you don't understand what's going on, and likeness is that you'll drop the book. And well, I wouldn't say that it's one of the best books I've ever read. I would definitely recommend it because I think it's a good book to have read, because of that it's such a unique book.
Yeah. And the book I read was Lolita, and it has the same feel, like the bit of a torturous narrative, but not to the same extent, because it only has two timelines, one with the main character while he's in prison and one while he's out with Lolita. And the book, I'm sure some of you have heard of, because it's rather infamous, because it tackles a really controversial subject with pedophilia and all of that. But if I were to describe the book in one word, it would be ambiguous, because even though the context is repulsive, it is written in such a beautiful way that it kind of makes up for the context and you manage to get through it. And I would recommend this book if you feel pretentious, because it will be a predicament to get through it. And if you're not really able to put down a greater amount of energy into your reading, then I wouldn't recommend it. You also have to be aware that the main character is an horrible person with a great who puts up a great facade, so you'll have to be able to look through it if you're going to read it.
Yeah, and something I'd probably like to add to, if you're not ready, if you don't like stuff like war and such, if that repulses you and makes you not like a book, I wouldn't recommend Slaughterhouse 5, as it's placed in a pretty damn big war, and there'll be bombings and there'll be aftermaths and such. That will be pretty dark. So
absolutely, and it's kind of the same thing with Lolita. It has a very dark undertone and a lot of sexual context, and a lot of innuendos in the beginning that you just have to get through, and then it turns into a more of a possessive, psychologically dark undertone towards the end of the book, and so it's constantly dark.
Yeah, and as Slaughterhouse 5, it's also it's a biography, so it's a real story. It's about the writer's life. So if some people, even if they can read a dark book if they know it's fake, but some people can't read a dark book if they know it's happened in real life to that person. So that's a warning I would give out, because it's dark and it is real. So be ready for that.
Yeah, Lolita has a lot of difficult words.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the vocabulary is very advanced, but it also is to the book's benefit, because this is English when it's fully utilized. And what is most fascinating to me is that it was written by a Russian expat, someone who isn't a native English speaker wrote this amazing piece of literature with such extensive vocabulary and beautiful language, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, we can stop there. Thank you.
Thank you.